Hello and welcome to the Build with Bear Workshop. My name is Pat Baer. I'm here to build a Lego set. I'm also here to hang out with all of you. I'm going to start by throwing the Bear Cave the Lego to the site, the tier 2 blue emote in the chat. If you are currently a subscriber, you can reply with those emotes. If you're not yet a subscriber, you can say hi. You can use other people's emotes. If you feel like being a lurker and you don't want to say anything at all, well, you can do that. That's okay as well. Ghost Valve is here. Welcome, Ghost Valve. Happy to have you here. Lashbrook is here. Hello, Lashbrook. Also happy to have you. Lord Crashin is here. Welcome, Lord Crashin. We got a great crew right off the bat. Do want to just say at the top of the stream, I'll mention it on occasion, that even though it's still August, September has arrived. And from now until October 31st, or sorry, October 1st, it's 25% off new subs. So if you want to become a subscriber, you can save some money. There's a whole chart thing here, which I'll bring up. Right now, you can get a discount on the loot, but you don't probably want Twitch merch, so whatever. New recurring subs, 25% off. If you want to get 6 months, you get even more savings. So if you want to try to deal with some stuff, save money, you can do that. And then towards the end of middle of September, there'll be some bits. Yes, it's not even September yet, Lord Crashton, but September has started early, as I said. September does not care about the rules. It does what it wants to do. And then bonus gift sub towards the end. So the September will end with a cool thing about gifted subs. Speaking of which, I'm currently at 25 out of 40 subscribers. The goal is to get to 40. I shut up about it at 40. I do need to edit. I want to edit my September message so that I should have done this before and I forgot. 25% off new subs. Don't sign up on Twitch's app. Great. I've now edited it so to remind people to not use Twitch's app, because in general, you should not be subscribing to on the app. You should not be subscribing. If you want to subscribe, I would love it. But open up a web browser on your phone and do it through that. Don't do it through the app, because you will spend extra money monthly, not just the first month. So that savings at 25% off is going to come bite you in the ass later. So do yourself a favor. If you do want to subscribe to somebody, you want to be a new subscriber here and save some money, awesome. But make sure you're come correct on it. And that's all I got to say about that until the next time we need to talk about things. But yeah, it's September, so enjoy. Let's see. Refresh that. Okay, Lego set. Let's talk about this Lego set. Go over here. Whoops. Hey! We just had a sad fat man just subscribe with Prime. Thank you so much for using your Prime. Appreciate that. If you have your Amazon Prime legally or Twitch, you get that token. You can use it for anybody. So let's give a round of applause to a sad fat man subscribe with Prime. Appreciate that very much. Thank you for your support. And then, yeah, there we go. Very kind. And throw some emotes in the chat. There we are. So we're working on a new Lego set. A new to me Lego set. This is the Lego City Space Explorer Rover and Alien Life set. And the Alien Life is what we're starting with. There's one bag. Bag number one is a small booklet that is just our astronaut friend here. One of our astronauts. There's another one in the later build. Thank you. I will enjoy those Bezos bucks. And we're going to build that and some aliens, just the stuff that's around the rover. And the rover is this big booklet is just for the rover here. Bags 2, 3, and 4. So this is a bigger build than some of the Lego builds we've done in a while, which is nice. Nice to have a larger Lego set. And we'll start. This is part of the Space Anniversary Collection. If you look at the box for this kit, it does say Space on it. And there are a variety of throwback style kits. That is why, and I did not understand that at first. I was like, why is there space stuff in Lego City? And that's why. It's because it is weird to be like, Lego City, space. Okay. But yeah, we got the Space Explorer Rover. And now we're building ourselves a lady here who will be in space. We'll get that together. Have not done a Lego set in a little bit. Excited to work on a larger Lego set than we have in a while. And again, this bag is just all of the components we'll need for this. There will probably be some extra parts here, but we'll get that all together. So Nintendo had a partner showcase this week, so I thought we could talk about that. As always, some of this stuff will be exclusive to Nintendo. Other things are not exclusive to Nintendo. They just made a deal with Nintendo to showcase at their event, and they will be coming out to the wider world of, PC and other consoles. So we can talk about them here, but we also know that these things won't all be exclusives. Some of them will be. Some of them are just like ports of old RPGs that aren't, that might have a Steam release later, but maybe don't. Maybe they are only going to be on the Switch because they are like a remake of an old game that nobody remembers that is suddenly on the Switch, and the people that do remember are like psyched as hell. All right, I'm building some aliens. We got our person here, so we'll talk about that. The first one is so Tetris Forever is a Tetris collection. It is being done by Digital Eclipse, and some of the it will be part of their documentary style stuff where there will be video footage and interviews done by the Digital Eclipse team, as well as partnering with Digital Eclipse for this project for Tetris is the fine folks at Area 5, a documentary production studio that you may remember as ex-1UP video team members. Many of the video side of 1UP Yours and the general video content when the One Apocalypse happened and everybody got laid off, several of those guys came together to form a production studio, and they've worked on several things like the Last of Us documentary, the Street Fighter documentary. They often do documentaries for the company, directly, as opposed to independent documentary work. All right, so now we're going to work on a little rover, a little rover friend. We'll work on that. But yeah, that is Tetris, Hatris, Tetris 2, Super Bomb Bliss DX. There's a new game called Tetris Time Warp, which takes a bunch of elements from Tetris and throws it together. Also, somewhat related to this, but not exactly, is that the Nintendo version, the NES version of Tetris, to be specific, the NES version of Tetris is coming to Nintendo Switch Online, and it has not been listed, probably because it would be on a variety of things, because it's not just a Nintendo game. Not included in this is the Game Boy version of Tetris. It seems like maybe it'll only be on the Switch version, but I doubt it because it's coming to a bunch of other things. So far, it hasn't been announced. Maybe it will be, but so far has not been announced. I am not going to talk about every announcement. I'm just going to go talk about the stuff that is interesting to me, and that was immediately very interesting to me. All right, so I need 4 of these. I need 2 of these, and I need 2 of these as we work on our little rover, our little small rover. Let's see. Goat Simulator 3 is coming out on, that's coming out for Switch. Reminder that is Goat Simulator 3 is the second Goat Simulator game. They just decided to name it 3 as if 2 exists. That's it. They can do that if they want to. There is a Game Boy Tetris is already on NSO, so I don't see it being in the collection. That makes sense. Yeah, I didn't realize it was already on Nintendo Switch Online. So yeah, that would make some sense. Xbox naming convention and Goat Simulator. Yes. You just put a 3 in there, and then you're up to date. The Patrick Star game for SpongeBob is coming to Switch on October 4th. And that is a open world sandbox game starring Patrick Star. They're making new, and you know what? Sure. I hope that game is fun. It seems cute. Capcom Fighting Collection 2. People are getting amped for this goddamn thing. Millennium Fight 2000 Pro, Capcom vs. SNK2, Mark of the Millennium 2001, Capcom Fighting Evolution, Street Fighter Alpha 3 Upper, Project Justice, Power Stone, Power Stone 2, which I am not here to argue if Power Stone and Power Stone 2 are fighting games or not. That is an argument that other people can have. I am not myself interested in that argument. They are just included in this Capcom Fighting Collection 2. Should they be? Should they not be? That's up for debate from other people. I will say that Power Stone and Power Stone 2 are fucking rad. You get a bunch of people together, real fucking fun. And theoretically, with a Switch, you can get 4 people together pretty easily. Power Stone 2 that said Plasma Sword, Nightmare of Bilstein, which I sort of know what Plasma Sword is, but not really. I don't really know what Plasma Sword is, but I'm like somewhat aware of it. They're coming out in 2025. Okay, so we built our little rover. We built our aliens. We built one of our astronauts. Now let's build the base, the landing zone where these aliens hang out, I guess. Also announced a date for Marvel vs. Capcom Fighting Collection Arcade Classics. This is the one with all of the various fighting games, the Marvel vs. Capcom Collection, the various fighters, is coming to Nintendo Switch on September 12th, digitally. If you want the physical version, that's not coming until November. So if that's something that you are passionate about having, physical release, you gotta wait. If you just want the game, you can get digitally in September. Let's see. No, because we're at that one. Suikoden 1 and 2 HD Remaster, Gate Rune and Duhan Unification Wars is a full title of a fucking video game. There are going to be a couple of these where it's just a long string of words. That's coming out next year in March. Suikoden 1 and 2 HD Remaster, Gate Ruin and Dunan Unification Wars. Video games. Gotta love them. But again, that's coming out in March. Coming out sooner, on November 14th, is Dragon Quest III HD 2D Remake. I have fond memories of Dragon Quest III, and I do like an HD 2D remake of that kind of stuff. I do like those. So I don't necessarily think I'm going to be playing that, but it's cool. Hey, I had no idea that this was coming out. I guess there's a hole in my knowledge about upcoming releases. I need an HD 2D 3D remake, says Laura Crashington. We'll just wait a couple years. I had no idea this was coming out. Castlevania Dominus Collection brings together Castlevania Dawn of Sorrow, Portrait of Ruin, and Order of Ecclesia. Is it Celsia? Ecclesia? I can't remember how to say that. In one bundle coming out on Tuesday. Yeah, this is the thing. Shadow Drop. Yeah, I was unaware of this thing. I had not heard of this, and I was like, wait, that's cool. I think Dawn of Sorrow is pretty fucking rad. I thought Portrait of Ruin was pretty good. I did not play the third one. Oh my God, Dawn of Sorrow is an old game. I played that in high school. Yes, it is an older game. Makes sense after the GBA collection came out a year or two ago. That means the N64 games or the PS2 games have to be next. Possibly, yeah. Um, yeah, I really loved Dawn of Sorrow, and I remember liking Portrait of Ruin, and I did not play Order, so that's why I don't think I had to say that name out loud, and that's why I don't remember it. Perhaps. Civ somehow, and I'm curious about this shit. Sid Meier's Civilization 7 is going to come to the Switch in February 2025, and that feels like, I don't know. Last one says I kind of want to buy it for the Haunted Castle remake. Oh yeah, I mean, hey, whatever gets you in the door, you know what I mean? Like, sometimes you want that stuff. Civ 7 on the Switch feels like a good luck to you. You know what I mean by that? Like, I don't know, but go with God. Like good luck on that one. Okay. Tales of Grace's F. So, Tales of Grace's F remastered. The write-up on Polygon has no commentary on this, except it reads from the trailer on YouTube's description, which says, Tales of Grace's F, and that's capital T Tales of capital G Grace's lowercase f. Tales of Grace's lets you journey back to the world of Apia anywhere you are in the world with the Nintendo Switch. So, great. Again, I don't know what that is. I hope fans of Tales of Grace's F are psyched to have a remaster. Let's see. Coming out this holiday season, because we all deserve some good video games this holiday season. I kid. People like these. I don't, but people like these. I'm being a jerk about it. Five Nights at Freddy's Help Wanted 2 and Five Nights at Freddy's Security Breach Ruin are both coming to Nintendo Switch. So if you need to play your Five Nights at Freddy's games on a Switch, your prayers have been answered this holiday season. We got a Rune Factory game coming out in the spring, Guardians of Azuma. This is another weird one. October 24th. On October 24th, if you have been hoping that you could get back into the Yakuza games, and you want to go back to, like, Yakuza 1. Yakuza 1 Kiwami. Again, that's a PS2 game that is the remaster of the PS2 game that's been out for a bit. Kiwami is coming to the DS, or the Switch, I should say. And that's weird. That's just weird. This is a weird thing. I don't know. I just find it odd. So that was the partner program stuff. Sega saw the debate on where to start the series. Yes, it's Yakuza 0. You get Yakuza 0 for cheap on Steam, and you play it that way. So that was, as I said, the partner program. Now we get into the... we did the partner. Now we're getting into Indie World, which is different from partners. So even though there are some publishers that we will talk about here in this video that are big-time publishers, the idea is that developers at least are smaller developers. So even if it's like something like, we'll talk about it, that is being published by a larger group, the idea is the developers are small, so that's why they're part of Indie World. In a move that makes a lot of sense, Balatro is going to have some cards from Vampire Survivors, Among Us, The Witcher 3, that's the weird one, and Dave the Diver are going to be part of that. That is fun. I think that is a fun idea. Again, I think Witcher 3 is an odd, interesting choice, I would say, of games that to be included in that. Because I know Gwent is a thing. Don't even get in the chat and be like, well, Gwent, I understand that. I'm just saying The Witcher 3 is different from Vampire Survivors, Among Us, and Dave the Diver. In one sense, it makes way more sense than those other games to be in there. But in that breath, you would say, well, then there should be a Fallout New Vegas cards, so we get some Caravan in there. You know what I'm saying? It's weird. It's weird to me. Yes, there will be different decks. Yeah, I mean, it's Balatro. Cards make things do weird stuff. They change it. So, yeah. Seems neat. All right. I think we are just about done here with this. Put these on here. With this alien structure. We got to build an alien structure here. We're almost done with this. Let's see. If you want seems to be a story game about a young woman and her wolf, from the makers of Gris, well, you want to check out Neva, which is coming out in October, and seems pretty cool. It seems like it's gonna. I don't know. It seems like a good one of those. The trailer was. I was like, oh hell yeah, all right. Coffee Talk Tokyo, coming out sometime next year. That trailer seemed fine. I don't know. That one didn't like stand out to me. All right, let's see. Let's put an alien in here in a hole. We'll put an alien here as well. Great. So now we have a little set. We got one of our astronauts. We got a little rover, a little tiny rover, and then we got some aliens hanging out. And their alien place, they're going to fall out of their hangout spot. But you can tell. Got that going. Little set. That's fun. So now we have some extra parts, which I'm going to push aside so they don't get mixed in with the other extra parts that we'll definitely have with this build. So we'll just put these aside here. Because we might accidentally drop something and need some extra parts. So we'll keep some extra pieces around. We'll just put this over here to hang out over in the corner. And that's it for bag 1. So now we got to move on to bags 2 through 4. We're going to know bags 1 at a time. Try to open up away from the mic here. Best I can. All right, so always make sure that you have emptied the bag of its contents before you dispose of the bag. We do have another astronaut that we are named, or space person that we need to build here. But yeah, we're going to do this one bag at a time. So we are going to null by color. That is the easiest way to do this, in my opinion. But the parts that are definitely from a person we'll keep in the center here as we start to build this. This looks like this is part of a backpack, so we'll keep that. But yeah, I'm just going to null by color. That is the easiest way, in my opinion, to do these things and things. All right, and then this piece is part of that. So we'll keep that. Gotta keep that, gotta keep that, gotta keep that, that, and that, and that. Let's put those together. But yeah, just gonna null by color. Let me find all the parts that I need when I need them. Power Wash Simulator Shrek DLC. Thanks for everybody that came by on Tuesday for my Power Wash Simulator stream. I had a good time doing that stream, doing some of the free DLC that came out earlier this month. And so I talked about this a little bit on Tuesday. I'm not much of a Shrek lover. I don't particularly enjoy Shrek or Shrek 2. I didn't see the spin-offs. It doesn't really do much for me, but I really do like Power Wash Simulator, so I will probably play this, he said, not super convinced with himself, but like, I don't know. Like I said, I'll probably fucking play it. Somebody once told me the world's gonna roll me. Yes. So yeah, Shrek is not necessarily my jam, but I do like Power Wash Simulator, and I do like having new levels in Power Wash Simulator. So I could be convinced that I gotta check this shit out. That I gotta do this. Doesn't like Shrek. I wish I could take my sub back now. I apologize, a sad fat man. We all have the things that we like and that we don't like, and I don't try to yuck people's yums, but I also am not going to pretend like I'm super into Shrek, because I'm just not. Anyway, I'll play it, and I will try not to be annoying when I play it. I'm going to play it. Let's see. Sea of Stars, Throne of the Watcher. Morsels look kind of fucking cool as hell. For the record, basically nothing I ever say is serious. Well, I appreciate that. But also, I do understand that, like I did the SpongeBob DLC for Power Wash Simulator, and I was like, hey, I don't know much about SpongeBob. It was after that was after my time with Nickelodeon, and I'm just like, this is not a thing that I have. Nickelodeon and Disney, I'm kind of out of it. I don't know what's going on with this. So there are going to be references here that some of y'all will be like, hell yeah, and I'll be like, okay. So that, like I said, not trying to yuck people's yum. It's just not necessarily my thing. Yeah, Morsels looks fucking cool. It's from Fracula, and Annapurna is producing it, and this art style is just, it's, you know what it is? It's like a cool person's doodle notebook. You know what I mean? Like, and I'm specifying a cool person because I'm not talking about like the ravings of a metalhead's, like some metalhead kid's doodles. I'm talking about like somebody who is just like, I make cool art in notebooks. I don't know. It just, there's a vibe to it that I'm probably not describing well, but it's got a vibe that I'm super interested in, and I would like to know more about Morsels. I'm gonna drink a little water. Hold on. Maybe by cool I mean talented. Maybe that's what I mean. A talented artist's doodles, not like just like anybody's doodles, because anybody can be an artist and anyone can doodle, and they should. I'm talking about, but like somebody that you're just like, oh, holy shit, this fucking whips ass. That kind of art. Date Everything is seemingly a comedic take on the dating game genre, the otome genre, where you can date anything, including inanimate objects, the concept of dread, and apparently you can date the game. And I don't know how that works. I don't know how any of this works. The tone seems irreverent in a way that I was like, okay, but also seemed like it comes from a place of knowledge that is a send up of the genre, not necessarily a attack on the genre. I could be wrong. A trailer can only say so much. The dateable text box did get a hearty chuckle out of me. Yeah, Lashbrook. Like there's that trailer. I was just like, all right, yeah. It did its job. It made me interested in what's going on with it. I would like to see people play it. I would like to see Kathleen DeVere from Loading Ready Run tackle it, as she has played many dating game on, otome game on the internet. I would be interested in her take on it. Maybe even Talking Simulator. Get some creative minds playing it. That could be neat. Peglin looks cute, which is like, it's apparently like some kind of like Peggle, but if Peggle was a roguelike. Apparently it's out and is a timed console exclusive, and so it'll be out on other things soon, but right now it's just out on Switch. I have not seen anyone play this. I would like to. I'm hoping some of the friends of mine who play a lot of Nintendo games will check this out, because it does look neat. Peglin, I mean, look, I think more companies should have stole from Peggle to make Peggle games. So if it's like that, but they're trying to do something else with it, I think that sounds neat, and I'm interested. So hopefully it's pretty cool. Serge has played a fair amount of Peglin, is if it's what I'm thinking of. Oh, okay. Wobbly Life, which is a physics-like sandbox game. It has local co-op, and I thought that looked okay. Okay, let's build a person here, and then we'll keep talking. Shovel Knight, Shovel of Hope DX is does not have a release date, but this is the re-release of Shovel Knight. Okay. Lashbrook says that that game has been on. Okay, so that's what it is. All right. Peglin has been on PC. This is the console port that is an exclusive, timed exclusive for Nintendo Switch, but it's not been on PC. Okay, I'll have to look into it. Let's see what's going on with Peglin. Steam. Let me see what's up with this game. Peglin is on Steam right now for there's a bundle. Okay, the bundle was on sale. The regular game itself is $20 on Steam. All right, I'm adding it to my wish list. Okay. Yeah, that seems pretty neat. It came out, apparently, maybe it was an early access because it says its release date was August 27th. So it must have been in early access. And people were playing in early access if it's been out for a while. It must have been an early access game that just came out in time with the announcement about the console release. Yeah, we don't know when Shovel Knight, Shovel of Hope DX is coming out. That's a good fucking name. I think that's a quality name for that release. I like Shovel Knight. Europa, which is coming out. There is a demo. It is coming out on October 11th. Europa, which is an exploration adventure game, and I will tell you right now that I am getting a code for Europa. I don't know when we're going to play it because I could move things around. No, I'll play it on... I'll probably end up playing it on the 15th of October because it comes out the 11th. Lord Crashington, you're going to have to find your own Uranus. I can't help you with Uranus. But yeah, Europa is it's coming out on the 11th. I guess there's a demo, but I'm gonna get it's coming out on Steam and Switch, and I'm getting a code for that. Which I'm excited about because it looks neat. I like the trailer. I thought it looked cool. Oh, these are like binoculars. Okay. Here. All right, so we've got our other driver here. We got our other person. We have now built 2 people. Now let's start building. Let's finally, now that I have built a little set and some astronauts, okay, enjoy lurking. Mjon says, was waiting for an ass joke to resub. Here we go. Resub for 33 months using Prime. Thank you so much for your continued support, Mjon. Let's throw the Bear Cave Lego site tier 2 blue emote in chat. Thank you, Mjon, for the continued support. Appreciate that. Appreciate your consistent support. Lord Crashington wants me at the dance button. I will hit the dance button. I am going to finish this sentence, though. Now that we have built the set for our aliens and a little rover and our astronauts, let's now start actually building the big rover. Whew. I have now said all I wanted to say there, and now I can hit the dance button because Lord Crashington has used channel points for the dance button. Here it is. Only so many chances left to hear the song because we will, of course, have a new song in September. Here you go. Bow, bow, bow. All right. And So yeah, Europa. That looks neat. That looks cute. I'm getting a code for it. Happy to be getting a code. We'll check it out on stream. Anything else? Some cooking games that look kind of fun. Some RPGs. It is good to note that despite them selling off, laying everybody off and having another company do it, it looks like games that were announced to be published in part with Humble Games are continuing. November 21st, we will see On Your Tail, which is part of Humble Games. So it looks like they're actually, through their third party that they are using, are going to at least be publishing games they were supposed to publish, which is small, but somewhat good news. So hopefully that all works out for the many devs that were affected. Metal Slug Tactics is coming out this fall. Should also say, oh no, I will get to that later. Pizza Tower. Pizza Tower is coming to the Switch. It's coming out to the Switch. It's out. Enjoy it. Not a Metal Slug fan. Am a Tactics fan. Hell yeah, I'm John. I should also say, just kind of mixing with all of this, there's a Worms Armageddon collection coming out that is also being done by Digital Eclipse in partnership with the studio that does all the Worms games, whose name I can't remember. I just want to include that because it's not necessarily part of the news, but it's good to mention in the world of those things, especially taking into consideration that we did talk about the Tetris game. So yeah, some stuff coming out on Switch that's also coming out in other places, or in some cases has already been out in other places, and some collections and some games for next year that one could assume, if they are mid or late in the summer of 2025, perhaps, they might be on another console that they're not saying exists, but they are saying they won't talk about it. Did they mention if the Tetris game is getting a physical release? I do not know. I do not have an answer for you about that, John. I don't have that information presented to me. Switch games don't always come out, but sometimes they do. So okay. I'm sick of. All right, I've now had two different people tell me that this Rover is a Mako, and they're wrong. It's a Nomad. So I'm tired of this. I'm tired of having two different people tell me that this is a Mako. This is not a Mako because it doesn't have any weapons on it. It's the Nomad. It's clearly the Nomad. It's not the Mako because it didn't have weapons. It's meant for exploration, not for combat. Come on. I know that the last Mass Effect game, Andromeda, was not good. But we can't be erasing the Nomad, which was, in my humble opinion, one of the only good things about that game. Was that it was fun to drive around in Nomad because I think they got help from another studio to make it feel good. And it did. I think that was pleasant to drive. And one of the only things about that game I liked. The bigger concern is if Tetris Battle Gaiden is going to be in English. I mean, I assume it will be. I imagine that if they're going to put some of these games out, that they have English releases or English language to them. I mean, I don't know. I can't tell you for sure because I don't know. Wait, did I miss a step? This looks like it's in line with that, but if I put that there, is that in line? Oh, it is on. Okay. Yeah, there's nothing else that goes there, so. Oh, no. I did miss a piece. I did miss a step, everybody. Hold on. I put that on there, and I didn't do this step, so I need to use the brick separator. This piece should not be on there. I got to take it off. I'm going to remove this piece here so that I can get at this better. Lift that off. No problem. Put this on here. This step is after I do this step. Whew, okay. Almost really screwed up there. It's fine. I noticed it right away, but still don't make sense. I probably remember the menus enough to get around. Yeah, I'm confident in you, Lashbrook. We're going to talk about it as after the events on Saturday here, but let's just give a quick preview for WWE Bash in Berlin. It'll be happening on our time here in the States. It'll be a Saturday afternoon show starting at 1 p.m. There will be a pre-show, but at 1 p.m. Eastern time, 10 a.m. Pacific, there is a pay-per-view emanating from Germany, Bash in Berlin. It is what I would like to call a B-show pay-per-view for WWE. Not a lot of matches on the card, which is kind of what they're doing for some of their smaller shows. There are 5 matches on the card, although I imagine there will be the SmackDown probably has a match for the U.S. title because or some kind of shenanigans surrounding it simply because LA Knight said that he was going to do an open challenge for it. But that currently is not listed on the card, so I think that maybe it'll be pre-show, and I'll miss it because I don't watch their pre-shows because they're 2 hours and nothing fucking happens on them. I don't need that. Okay, so what's on the card, Pat? Well, our main event is probably Gunther, the World Heavyweight Champion, versus Randy Orton. Randy Orton is a SmackDown wrestler, so if he wins and becomes champion, he will move to the Raw roster, and Gunther will move to SmackDown. So I'm going to say, even without that information, hey, guess what? Gunther is retaining. Gunther is Austrian. He is not German. I'm saying that out loud so that you understand that I know that. When I tell you, he's also big in Germany. Not because I think incorrectly that he's German, but because he made a name for himself in not only the British wrestling scene, but also the German wrestling scene. That is where Walter first made a name for himself as a wrestler. So, when I say he is big in Germany, I am not being incorrect about where he is from. AJ Styles is big in France. Sometimes that shit happens. Gunther is beloved. He will be treated like a babyface. Randy Orton will get booed, which is fine, because Randy Orton has certainly been a heel for a large portion of his career. But yeah, Randy's not winning this. This is going to be a good match, and it'll be a good victory. And yeah, I fully expect Gunther to work babyface, because I don't think the crowd has any interest in booing him. In what isn't the main event, and so I think will open the show, Cody Rhodes is defending the undisputed WWE Championship against Kevin Owens, his friend. This is a stopgap match. This is not a feud. To me, it is not about will Kevin Owens win, because I don't think he's winning. Will Kevin Owens cheat to try to win? Will Kevin Owens turn heel? Will he do whatever he needs to become champion and go to any means necessary and turn heel in the process, end his friendship? Will they have a good, clean fight? And when Kevin loses, he gets so mad that he attacks, that he just goes ahead and fucking goes after Cody. And then maybe Randy shows up to be like, hey, calm down, because the three of them are friends. They're friends on camera, so maybe he calms down. And then Randy gives Cody and RKO to set up the two of them having a match next, because we kind of need to have Cody Rhodes take a break from dealing with stuff in the bloodline until we get to Survivor Series, where he'll be probably brought back into that storyline. So it makes sense to me. Neither of those titles are changing hands. Honestly, there's one title that's changing hands, probably, because there's only 3 on the line. The Unholy Union, who are the women's tag champions. That's Alba Fire and Isla Dawn. One is a ghost. One is a witch and one is a dragon. Or they're both witches, depending on who you talk to. They are taking on Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill, the former champions. They lost the belts. I don't think that the Unholy Union will get cheered. They got cheered in Scotland because they're Scottish. So it made sense that Scotland was like, hell fucking yeah. But I don't expect them to get cheered in Germany. I expect Jade and Bianca to be cheered. And I think they're winning those belts back. Now, there's a reason to believe maybe they won't. Maybe their friend will come in and help them out. They do have Blair Davenport in their corner for reasons that have not been specified. But, on the other hand, Naomi is aligned with Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill. So maybe Naomi makes up for that and evens the score, and then Jade and Bianca get their belts back. Honestly, it's something for them to do, and I don't think they're ready for Jade and Bianca to have a program together, which they eventually will have some solo matches together. I think they're saving that, so I don't think you break up that duo yet. But if they lose, maybe they go their separate ways. I don't know. That is the only match, pure women's match on the card. There is so neither the Raw or none of the tag belts are on the line on this show, and none of men's tag, I should say, and the women's singles championships neither are on the card because one of the women's champions, Liv Morgan, is in a tag match, a mixed tag match. That's right, it is a mixed tag match, which means that when 2 women are in the ring, if one of the women tag out, the other woman must leave the ring and both men get in the ring. Will there be contact between men and women? A little bit, probably. That's Damian Priest and Rhea Ripley versus Liv Morgan and Dirty Dominic Mysterio. I feel like I could see Dom taking a riptide from Rhea. I think that's totally feasible and reasonable to think. There will be some cheating and some shenanigans there from the members of Judgment Day and the... Oh, God, I'm going to say it out loud. I don't think the Terror Twins are going to win this one. That's right. Damian Priest and Rhea Ripley have the tag team name, or the group name of the Terror Twins. And it's bad. And I hope that it gets retconned and we all collectively have amnesia about it. And they always had a different name that is not the Terror Twins, because the Terror Twins is a bad name. It's just very not good. And they are very cool. There's very few people cooler in wrestling than Rhea Ripley. Damian Priest is up there. He's getting there. He's not really that as cool as Rhea. But also, nobody's fucking cooler than Rhea Ripley. A heel that the audience was just like, yeah, but it's Rhea. What do you want? It's mommy. What do you want from us? Like, nah, we're going to cheer. We're cheering Rhea Ripley. Tough shit. Like, just so effortlessly cool. It is ridiculous to imagine her in a group that has been fucking called the Terror Twins. God, I hate it. I hate it. I want one of them to turn heel or go to another show, break that up, change that name. So yeah, Gunther retains, Cody retains, Dirty Dom and Liv win. Unholy Union, Alba Fire and Isla Dawn lose to Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill. And our last match that is not the main event, even though some people are saying, oh, that's definitely the main event. It's just a grudge match. A strap match between CM Punk and Drew McIntyre, which means that they are strapped together. Each's wrist is attached to, or one of their wrists is attached to a long rope that is tied to the other wrist. So they cannot get away from each other. You're not getting a count out in that match. CM Punk is winning this one because Drew McIntyre won their last match. And Bad Blood is coming up. Bad Blood is the replacement for Hell in a Cell. They are finally not calling a show Hell in a Cell, but there will be a Hell in a Cell, and that will be the rubber match, the third match in the Drew versus Punk storyline. It'll be time for, my imagination says, or my opinion, we don't see Seth Rollins, who is out, quote unquote, injured right now. We don't see Seth at Bash in Berlin. We see Seth leading up to or around Hell in a Cell for Punk and Drew. But yeah, Punk needs to win this one to even it up. But he won't get... This is... wrestling sometimes is cool as shit, and sometimes it is silly as fuck. This is a silly as fuck thing. CM Punk was given a friendship bracelet by somebody, like a fan, like a young fan, and Drew McIntyre took it from him, and Punk wants that back. It's an element of this story that does not need to be there, but it is there. And so I feel like Drew McIntyre loses this match, but somehow escapes with the friendship bracelet. And that's why they're going to have a Hell in a Cell match. Not that Punk has taken so much from him and or anything like that, and he wants his revenge. None of that. No. The reason why we'll have that is because he's got the goddamn bracelet still. Wrestling. I love it. I fucking love it to death. But it is sometimes the goopiest. I said goopiest, and that's awful that I said goopiest. The goofiest shit. Wrestling is rarely goopy, but it's often goofy as hell. Totally unnecessary. Why are we doing this? We'll take a pause for the cause. Speaking of unnecessary now. Speaking of necessary, we'll take a pause for the cause in a couple minutes. I will just end this conversation by saying that in cool wrestling news, I'm just going to go out and say that I am pleased to report that Tokyo Joshi Pro Wrestling continues to be the coolest wrestling shit out there. I have not seen the finals of Tokyo Joshi Princess Cup, but I watched the semifinals last night, and it was cool as fucking hell. Having Ryu Mizunami in the finals, despite her being a freelancer who is not a full-time employee of Tokyo Joshi Pro Wrestling, full-time wrestler there, that's rad as hell because she is just cool. They just picked a cool person to be in there. Ryu Mizunami fucking rules, aka Anaki. That's right. There's a cool lady, cool big hoss lady whose nickname is Big Bro. She's the big bro. She's everybody's big bro, and she lives it up to it. She lives up to the thing. Just cool as hell. Effortlessly cool. Fun fact about Ryu Mizunami. Was thinking about retiring. The pandemic hurt a lot of independent wrestling, and she was not doing well financially as an independent, and she was considering giving it up, retiring, and going into something else. When she got the call to be part of a tournament for All Elite Wrestling. All Elite Wrestling had a women's tournament where a lot of the Japanese matches were on the card, were on YouTube, and the women's matches in America were on there. But then they flew out some of the Japanese wrestlers. She got global exposure. It helped her locally quite a bit. Ryu Mizunami, as an independent, it was an easy person to work with. This was before they had a working relationship with New Japan and does now have a working relationship with Stardom. So it was just an easy person to pick who was available that could win a few matches and then lose. And she got over big in the US and it kept her around. So thanks AEW. I don't say that too often, but thanks AEW. You kept a fucking kick-ass, cool as hell wrestler employed and continuing to work to this day. Ryu Mizunami fucking whips ass. She's just cool as hell. Great wrestler. She's facing her former tag team partner. Former tag team partner of Yuki Aino. They won the tag belts earlier this year. And then they lost the tag belts. And now they're wrestling each other. To put these sliders in, these parts move up and down. You want to open it so you can slide it in, because it's annoying to do it that way. So instead you slide it, push those through. That's very convenient. It's nice to see. And now we put on here. We're almost through bag 2, so we'll start knolling bag 3 in the second hour. Once we finish this up. And I'm going to put these on here. This is coming together well. I will do another poll because I imagine I'm going to finish this on Saturday's stream. So I will do another poll to decide what I'm building next because this feels like a stream and a half kit, which is great. Still fine. Still cool. But yeah, I'll put a poll up for my $10 patrons about what I should be building next. I do have some kits. I do have a new kit coming in, new to me kit, obviously. A lot of times these days, the model kits I build are from like the 2000s when I was not building model kits. Often that ends up being the thing. It's just like, oh, here's a kit from when I was not working on this stuff. Because I took a long break from model kit building. And so there's a bunch of kits I just never built. And on stream, I have built a few things that I built in my youth before, or in my teen years before I got into all of this shenanigans. There are a few kits out there that I built in the past that now that I have now since rebuilt for the stream. But for mostly, it's new stuff. All right, that is the end of bag 2. Bag 3 is coming up. We have gotten through 2 bags. One of the bags was pretty small. So we'll get into bag 3. I assume there are old kits that got more expensive over time. Yes, Lord Crashington. So some of those kits did get expensive, and a lot of them are cheap again because they're from shows that weren't super popular. But the problem is if they didn't if they weren't like they didn't flood the market, then those kits become expensive because they're harder to track down. But also, they're still in some cases reasonably priced because they are taking up storage space. And people just want to get them out there. So it's a mixed thing. There's some stuff from the 90s that's very hard to track down. Or like, they didn't export a lot of, let's be real, they didn't make a lot of Gundam X model kits. Gundam X model kits are kind of hard to track down. You can find the X and the double X, but the other mobile suits from that series, or like the G-Pack, which is this space red cool like attachment for the X, I think maybe the double X, that's hard to track down because they just didn't make a lot of them because that show was incredibly unpopular. So it's just hard to find those things. That's actually the thing. If it was a show that wasn't super popular, it can be quite difficult to track those down. But like a Zaku 2 that came out in 2002, I can find that no problem. Is there a market? Lord Crescent, there is a yes and no sometimes. There are very few kits, premium Bandai, the premium stuff that only came out, but pre-website only came out in conventions. That stuff is expensive because that is people who are buying multiple kits and hoarding them to think that they will go up in value. So those become more difficult to track down. And some of those kits do get reissued, and that makes life easier. Really, it's just that, like, you just can't find them. It's not that they're like, there's a third-party market and you got to know a guy. Because a lot of times you'll just, like, find a hobby shop will just put up, like, 10 copies of a old kit that no one's seen anymore, and then the subreddit for our Gunpla will go like, they have 10 of this, and then they'll just get bought up. Like, that's really what it is. If I was looking for a particular thing, I would do a word search bot that would tell me when someone on our Gunpla posted about a kit that I really want. You should look for Gundam X when you're in Japan. Yeah, I'm John. because those kits are hard to track down. The Vertigo, I want to say, there's one that starts with a V that looks pretty fucking cool. But the other kits from Gundam X that are not the X and Double X are pretty difficult to track down just because there weren't a lot of it and there wasn't a demand for it. I'm talking about kits that were put together and resold from people that just want the thing and not do the work. So not in the United States. There is not a market for that. There is a market on like Bai and like Japan's answers for Yahoo Auctions and eBay. Do have people that buy, some people buy pre-built kits because they're looking for parts, and it's cheaper to buy a pre-built kit than it is, and then just rip out the parts you need, than it is to buy repair parts or spare parts, or to buy a new in stock in box kit. So there is a market in Japan where Gunpla is much more popular for many, many years. I am sure there are some people that resell completed kits or built kits in the US, but there isn't that kind of market per se. A lot of hobby shops will do a service. If you are like, we'll build your backlog for you. That's not that popular. Some places maybe it is, and I'm wrong about that. But that kind of service isn't something that's like super like invested, or like you want this painted, you want all the decals applied, that kind of thing, sure. But like a market for already built kits isn't certainly there. Will they play my videos for me? You'd buy an action figure instead. The fun is putting together, John, but as I said, I said, we'll build your backlog for you. Some people have dozens, if not tens of dozens of kits, and they're never going to find the time to put it together, but maybe they want to complete their wing display. And they're like, I'm never building this fucking Sandrock armadillo or whatever that's called from Glory. Hey, I'm working on it slowly. I believe in you, John. I believe in you. We're going to take a pause for the cause. I know we got on a good discussion that I enjoy talking about. I like talking about this stuff. But we should do the pause for the cause, because that's it's something we got to chat about here. First and foremost, if you are currently a subscriber to the Build with Bear Workshop, please throw the Bear Cave, the Lego, the site, the Tier 2 blue emote in the chat. If you are a subscriber, those emotes let people know. That's the reward for being a subscriber, is you get some cool emotes. You don't see pre-roll ads. You don't see ads during the stream. It's a nice bit of business. Reminder that even though it's still August, September has begun. Now till October 21st, you get 25% off new subs. Don't sign up on the Twitch's app. Remember, they're going to charge you more money on Twitch's app. Even if they haven't charged you more money yet, when it renews on Twitch's app, they'll charge you more money soon. So don't do it on the app. Do it through a website. But if you want to subscribe to me and you haven't subscribed before, you get 25% off until October 1st, which is fun. The September savings. Subscribing is a great way to support what I do here. You could gift a sub like Lashbrook did. You could join the gift sub leaderboard. No one has cheered this month, so if you want to do a little bit of a cheer, you could do that. Bits and coins always appreciated. I'm going to talk about other ways you can support the channel. All these things are optional, of course. You don't have to do any of this. What was I going to say? Patreon. Patreon.com/PatBear. Hey, if you're not part of my Patreon, today, this very day, I put up my monthly Q&A. The only exclusive content I make is for my Patreon at the $1, $3, $5, and $10 tier. And I put up for the tiers, different rewards for different tiers, but everybody who is a patron supporter of me gets a Q&A video once a month. And that's the only exclusive content that I make for anybody. So take a look at that. If you want to join over on Patreon. I have a YouTube channel, youtube.com/PatBear. Over on my YouTube channel, you should go there if you want to see various videos that I make, which are obviously free, because subscribing is free. Please subscribe over there and turn on the notification bell so you get the videos and they tell you when that's happening. Also, should mention, you can become a member over there for just $2 a month. become a YouTube member. You get my Wednesday videos on Tuesday, so you get it before other people get to see it. So take a look, see if there's something that you like there. The video that I put up yesterday that people got on Tuesday is my most popular short for a series that I'm doing. It is the best one I've done, and it has only been out for a day, and it has the highest numbers of any YouTube short that I've made about anime. I have a wrestling one. It's almost eclipsed my most popular short of all time, which is just a fun bit of business in WWE 2K24 that did shockingly well. Anyway, those are all monthly ways to support me through YouTube memberships and Patreon and Twitch subs. Also Twitch Prime is a thing. I think I said that. But that's monthly. What if you just want to help me out once in a while? What if you want to, like, I don't know, throw me a couple bucks to my PayPal or my Ko-Fi? You could do that. Everything I make through direct donations through YouTube, which includes AdSense, so watching my videos helps me out, through Patreon and through Twitch, all goes into a fund. And out of that fund, I take money out to buy model kits and Lego sets. The kit that I'm working on right now, the Lego City Space Explorer Rover and Alien Life that I'm currently working on right now, that people say looks like a Mako, but really it looks like a Nomad. I was able to purchase this because of your generosity. Past you is helping out present me. If you want to help future me, you could subscribe in any of those various forms. Also, if you want to decide what I build next, if you're like, Pat, you got to be working on this next thing. I'm going to decide what you work on. Well, you should take a look at my Amazon wish list and see if there's something there that you'd like to see me build. I've got Lego kits and of the Lego sets, model kits, inexpensive kits, expensive kits, kits that will take me like half a stream to build, kits that will take me forever to put together, that'll be a very long project, inexpensive stuff, stuff that is never on sale, stuff that goes on sale all the time. Some gear at the bottom. A recent Lego set that I want to mention that looked fucking rad as hell is the Lego Ninjago Sora's Elemental Tech Mech. Which is a small kit that won't take me long to build. I've built some of these like mechs that are like a minifig slides into it. I've built a couple of these, but this one is is like a ninja warrior thing, but it's got a sakura, like a cherry blossom vibe to it, and it's gorgeous. The colors are beautiful on it. I would love to build that. It's going to be a quick build because I don't think there's like how many pieces on this thing? 200 pieces. So like during a stream, I'll finish it. Like one stream. But it looks cool as shit. That's on my wish list. If you want to see me build that, you can pick that up on Amazon and I'll build it. You don't have to, of course. All this stuff is optional. I have a Throne wish list. I got to go in and update Throne. It's been a while since I went in there. I bet there's some stuff on my list that's no longer available and some new stuff I want to add to it, but check it out. It's nice to have an alternative. And then if you want to support me in the most convoluted way fucking possible, go to USA Gundam Store. Buy a gift card. They send you an email with that gift card code. Then you send me a whisper here on Twitch or a DM on Twitter or maybe a DM on Blue Sky or Mastodon with that gift card code. Then I will use that gift card code to, you guessed it, buy something from USA Gundam Store so that we can all see me go through that process and build that thing. Again, the most convoluted way. If you want to support me but you don't want to spend any money, go and check out my Discord. I post build photos at the end of every stream. People post stuff they're working on or stuff they're interested in or stuff they just think I would be interested in. It's a nice little place, and we'd love to have you over there on the Discord. Couple video links for you to check out. Pat Baer's Anime Club, my ongoing video series where I talk about anime every other Monday. Put up a new episode. I will have a new episode up on this coming Monday. The current episode that's been up for a little bit, the most recent, is me talking about how reverse isekai is not a thing. This video did well. I don't know if it's because it was about an isekai or not. I have no clue why this video did as well as it did, but it did. Got a lot more views than my normal videos, so that's lovely. And instead of just ranting for a bunch of minutes, I rant a little bit and then I talk about shows that are what people think they mean when they say reverse isekai, which means isekai set on Earth, where the main character is not from Earth. And I talked about some examples of that. Did I list every one of them? No. Why would I do that? I just listed a bunch of them I thought are cool. And then Kuma Baer, which is my weekly anime recommendation series. That's right, I make weekly anime and bi-weekly anime content. Kuma Baer is my shorts series, where in under a minute I will try to express to you why I recommend a particular anime. And this week, I'm talking about Flying Witch. We're ending my cozy anime, cozy chill slice of life anime recommendations for the month of August with Flying Witch, a anime that is both incredibly cozy and also fantastical. It's a cozy show about a girl learning about witchcraft. There is a whale that people used to live on. There is a fox that is a ghost, ? Or magical? No, the fox is not a ghost. The fox is magical, but there's a ghost waitress in the show. The Harbinger of Spring shows up, and he's pretty chill. It's a phenomenal series. And it's so chill and so cool. You should check out Flying Witch. Watch my video expressing the virtues of it. And for whatever reason, that video did really fucking well on YouTube for me. I don't know. The previous video got like no fucking views. My video on Place to Place did not do well, which is not surprising because nobody fucking knows about Place to Place. It is a goddamn hidden gem. Whereas some people apparently know some shit about Flying Witch. I put these out at the exact same goddamn time on in the afternoon, 1 week apart. And yeah, right now, Flying Witch has over 500 views, which is the best any Kuma Baer video has done. The closest to that is 498 for Nanan Biori, which is a video that came out in the beginning of August. Azumanga Daioh did not do well. Don't know why. But yeah, nobody watched my video about Place to Place, which is okay. Because while I do want people to watch my videos, it means more to me that that I just make them because I want to yell about anime, and I only have 3 avenues to do that in. So, you know, one of them's got to be shorts because I can only talk so much about it on these streams. We are going to get into some anime talk. We're going to start with some manga talk. But before we get into the manga talk, that'll then lead into the anime talk, I need to reopen a tab that I closed by mistake. What we're going to need to do now is take a pause. We're going to finish out the pause of the gauze by dramatically transitioning back to the overhead so that I can knoll some Lego and so that I can drink some water and talk about some manga. And we're going to do that right now. I love that my glass gets removed in the background. That is fun for me. That is a thing I like. All right. I'm going to talk about a manga that I have been reading, and then I'll talk about an anime episode that I have been watching. And I'm going to open this bag away from me as far as I can. And then I'm going to open up this bag away from me as far as I can, so that it's not as bad for you. And I'll talk so you don't hear the crinkle noises, because this is not an ASMR video. I don't do ASMR streams. So the crinkle, the opening of packs, none of that stuff. Making sure the bags are empty. They are. All right. So I'm going to knoll this by color. And while I am knolling it, I will talk to you about the manga that I've been reading. After receiving the sacred item cup that can only produce water, I decided to live freely in a barren land. That's right, folks. It's the subgenre that is incredibly popular in manga that I find pretty fun, and therefore I'm talking about. That's right, folks. We are, of course, talking about the subgenre that is banished/kicked. There is not, to my knowledge, banished is probably the best name for it. The kicked, the abandoned, the removed style. Our guy he's a prince. He is not, he is from a high-ranking family. but he's smart. He's kind of getting the sense that like, my family kind of fucking sucks. They're kind of shitty and they're not really that great. And I'm trying to be helpful to people, but I can only do so much. And they don't seem to really like, they seem like maybe they're not the best people, but they're my family. What are you going to do? Anyway, when our main character's like, Cyan is like, well, when I come of age, and I'm received my gift from the goddess, then I'll be able to use magic and I'll be able to, help people, and I'll get a good position in the government and the affairs of the kingdom, and it'll be okay. But turns out he gets a weird thing. It's not like wind magic or fire magic or even healing magic. It's nothing like that. He gets a cup that will always produce water. You know what they don't need in the capital of the royal capital? Water. They don't need water. What the fuck? What's he gonna do? Like what? We can just get water. Like they're not worried about that. This isn't like a drought season. John says, I would love to be given a cup though, right? Yes. So he gets banished and they're like, this is ridiculous. Anyway, hey, there's this like, we can't exile you from the country or whatever because you're still royalty. So we can't like kick you out of the country, but there's this area that when the local lord died, no one took over for it, and I guess we're responsible for it. So like, you go be the lord of this place, and they're expecting him to just like, I don't know, die there. They're not expecting anything to work out because it's just like a border area. And there's turns out later we find out there used to be an oasis, and there was water at the center, and then water stopped flowing there, and everyone is not doing well. He loses. He was engaged to be married, and that ended to a girl that actually had feelings for him, and he had feelings for her, and he's really dejected. But he's like, all right, well, I'm gonna go to this border town and make a fresh start. He's like, at the very fucking least, I understand that I can produce water for them, because as long as I have mana, I can keep making water out of my cup. So like, I don't know, I'll figure it out. So one thing I should say, while he is indeed, like banished, he doesn't go alone. Turns out, he's a good guy. And there aren't a lot of good people in that kingdom, in the royalty of that kingdom. So a lot of people that worked in the palace just all kind of unanimously agreed, we really love this guy. The young master is figuring it out. He's got a gift that will help people. He's going out to be a local lord. We're going with him. So we got like a maid who is, for comedic effect, they haven't really dealt too much of it. Clearly obsessed and in love with him, but they don't. That's comic relief, and they don't dwell on it too much. A mad scientist researcher who can also, who is a expert in monsters because there's a dungeon and monsters there. There is the carpenter who can fix anything, who turns out to be half dwarf. There's like a guy with a big scar on his face who's a hunter who clearly has like a dark past that we haven't gotten into. The butler is an older guy that's like, I would love to retire someday, but I'm keeping that off so I can be your butler, who is clearly like skilled as like hell and knows a lot of people and just like good connections. He's got a great staff. Oh, there's a master chef goes with them. Like, he didn't show up alone. He's got a good crew, which is fun. They don't get a lot of screen time except for the carpenter, but there's a good little bit of business there with the crew that I enjoyed. I enjoy that they're There's some fun folks that come through because of that. And yeah, turns out being able to make water is pretty cool. Also, he barely remembers this. Apparently, when he was young, he made a bargain. He made a deal with the goddess, which he does not remember, to help people and to restore what's right about like religion and the goddess. Because we find out later, the past nobles, have corrupted it. Everyone should be able to receive blessings from the goddess, but only nobility get blessings from the goddess because they have made sure that only they can do it. Because like elves and dwarves can use magic and only royal humans can use magic. But turns out that's not true. They're just keeping it from, so they can keep a hold on people. And he's figuring that shit out. There's a young lady that lives there that he is clearly flirting with, that everybody understands that they like each other, but they don't pick up on that. And it's cute and fun. There's an elf that shows up. The lady who studies monsters makes a weird plant monsters to help people out. There is a little dog that can talk that is actually a divine beast that made the dungeon and makes a pact with our guy to be friends with them. It's fun. It's pleasant. Oh, also, because this promise he made with the goddess, it turns out the cup can do other stuff. It can evolve and get better and make life better, and he's just trying to figure things out. And then at some point, he's going to figure out why that drought happened, and it's very, we can understand, this was caused probably by the kingdom, so he's got to make that right someday. It is fun. That is a fun series. It's an easy read, pretty light. You just have to get through the, everyone's mean to him and kicks him out in the first chapter, and then it just kind of, picks up and is easygoing and fun. That is, after receiving the sacred item cup that can only produce water, I decided to live freely in a barren land. It's pretty good. You heard it from me, your friend Pat. And now, let's talk about the end of an arc in Oshi no Ko. There are reportedly 13 episodes in Oshi no Ko, which means we have 4 episodes left, but that'll all be fallout, or at least another mini arc that maybe will be a 2-core, or maybe will be continued in the 3rd. I don't know how they're going to play this out, but the Tokyo Blade arc has ended in Oshi no Ko. Just got to the volume 7 of the English manga for that show. Nice, John. I got to reread this arc because I feel like maybe we're going to see it in flashbacks later, or they'll dedicate some episodes to it. But I don't know. I think it got the stage play elements correct, but a missing component in this show, to me anyway, was this is very fucking cathartic and huge for our main character. Aqua, really... Aqua should have had more of a moment in this episode. This maybe should have been 2 episodes. But this was important for Aqua, the man. A reminder, if I can, about this series. The most important thing to remember about Aqua is that he was a doctor in his previous life. One of his patients was an idol. He helped her along in her pregnancy. He died by an assailant that was a stalker set up by someone. We don't know who. Later, he died and then was reincarnated as one of the idol's children. And his driving force is not, I'm going to relive my life. His driving force is, I'm going to figure out who set me up for death and who later set up the person who then killed I. So his mother, who also it was an idol that he liked through his sister now, who was then a child who was sick that he was treating. It's a lot. A lot of shit happens in here. Hey, here's okay. That goes there. Okay. I was confused about some pieces. So his whole thing is revenge. He's right now he is an actor. He is trying to be an entertainer. He's trying to be an idol to seek revenge, to figure out, because he thinks that his father is the person that set him up. He has reason to believe that his father is the person that organized this and led to his mother's death. So he wants to know what's up. So that's that. Tokyo Blade is a stage play based on a fictional and in universe manga, and it has been a challenge for a lot of our characters, not just Aqua, but a bunch of characters. All these young people. The adaptation was difficult to get done. There were a lot of problems getting this thing together. It all came together, and there's been a lot of ad-libbing in scenes, which feels preposterous, but is necessary for character growth, so I guess. But there's been a lot of shenanigans going on in this particular show, and now we are getting towards the end of it. We start with a flashback of Aqua and Ruby. They are sitting in a theater with Ai, and they're watching one of Ai's films. And then Ai praises and says, like, hey, you know what? Aqua, you are a great actor, and I think you're going to be a great stage actor someday. And reminder, that's because he is an adult man in the body of a child. So he is not necessarily a great actor, certainly as a kid, but he's a great kid actor because he can memorize lines and follow instructions and not have a tantrum. But as he's gotten older, there's higher expectations of him. Anyway, now we flash back to we're back to there. Yeah, John, that's always been the underlying thing to me when people have had criticism of him going from a child actor to a teen actor, is that, like, oh yeah, being an old kid is like isn't cutting it anymore. And we're kind of seeing that. Aqua's emotional, he's been working on his emotional acting. He's using his pain, his anguish that he's kind of blocked off and compartmentalized as an intellectual, and he's tapping into that. And there's like a dream sequence of him looking at his mother's corpse, and then there's this present. So this is a dream sequence that's not part of the play. The dream sequence of him like looking at the corpse, and then someone like shows up and is just like, you're trying to be happy right now. You're trying to be like an actor and do well and have people like you. That's not what this is about. You can't be happy until you solve this. You don't deserve a happy life. You need to figure out who murdered I before you can have this kind of a life, basically. And he's just like, no, you're wrong, and I'm going to use my pain to do a good job. Turns out that this vision that he's having of this person arguing with him is a younger version of himself. Then we go back to the performance. Everybody's doing their best. They're acting their asses off. All the minor characters, the supporting characters, everybody's doing good. Aqua has like a moment of self-reflection, being like, what would my life be like if I had miraculously survived? What if she had survived? Like, what would my life even be like? Which is a fucking lot for anyone to consider, even a adult in the body of a teen to consider. Aqua cries. Everyone gets together. People have nice things to say about a lot of the actors. It's like, oh, there has been some internal rivalry in the cast, and they're not done yet. They're going to prove it. We see some of the other characters from season 1 that are part of the idol group that we didn't see much at all in this season, other than like in group scenes being supportive. Everyone's happy. People are kind of happy that things are like, this play's fucking wrapping up, and I somewhat agree with them, because it means that we are going to get into the meat and potatoes for me, which is the murder mystery. Kana's and Akane's rivalry is not done yet. People start talking about the play. Some people were impressed. Some people say they're not doing well enough. Raida says that we'll speak to them later. We get a monologue from Aqua about DNA tests. Apparently, I kind of remember this, that like one of his things he was trying to do was like, he's trying to figure out like who his father is, and he's trying, like, part of the being in the entertainment industry here is to get connections with people that knew his mother and might know who the dad is. But yeah, so the DNA tests, let's see what I was saying here. The play is over. We go to the actors chatting. There's going to be an after party. People don't want to go, but then they agree to go. Because Akane decides to go. Aqua decides to go, so everyone's going. And Aqua starts talking to Kendachi, kind of grilling him about stuff. And Kendachi won't reveal everything. And then Taiki starts intervening and helping out, which I thought was interesting. And they start talking about the bar, and they're just kind of shooting the shit. And Kendachi is now drunk and talking about how impressed Aqua was, and then falls asleep. And then Taiki's just like, hey, sorry, I know you were trying to get information out of there. Sorry that didn't work out. Tried to look out for you. And then the bombshell, which I guess is going to be what the next few episodes, as we go from 10 through 13 episodes left here, episodes 10 to 13, because this was episode 9. The ball is dropped here because Aqua's like, actually, I really did want to talk to you because you and I have the same father. This DNA test says that you and I have the same dad, so I want to know about our dad. We're getting into the shit that I want. I know I'm a broken record about this. I'm not going to go too far into this. I think in the manga version of this, the play is interesting to me. I think the animated version of a stage play production isn't as interesting to me. I think a mangaka writing about a fictional mangaka worried about how their source material, their manga, will be adapted into a stage play is way more interesting than an anime about a mangaka being worried about their manga being turned into a stage play. If that makes any sense. I don't know if that does. I don't know if I'm making sense there. But to me, the medium of anime, it's like, yeah, I don't know. It's something about like one person being like, oh, these are my worries intensified and spread out here in this story as like a plot point for these young people trying to make it in the entertainment industry. And instead it's just like, once removed, it's just like, yeah, I don't think it is powerful. And again, the broken record part for me is that the young people trying to make it in the entertainment industry is interesting. I think that's interesting. But I don't like it as much as I like the reincarnated dude is trying to figure out who set him up and who set his mother up for death. Who's my father and why did they do this shit? Trying to solve a murder. That to me is way more interesting than that. Also, like I said, the manga version isn't as rushed. I think this could have been 2 episodes of the end of the stage play. Even though the stage play was most of this season and I wasn't super engaged with it, I think they kind of rushed the ending, and I would have liked a little bit more about the internal struggles of our character. And I understand from manga into an anime, you're condensing things. There's no way to avoid that. I get it. I'm just hoping that some of that stuff gets trickled in later here and there. Taiki's involvement with the characters is interesting. And finding out more that's going to be interesting. I'm excited about that. But yeah, I would have liked to sit maybe with Aqua a little bit more. You know what I mean? I don't know. I don't know if I'm. I think this is a 13 episode. I don't think this is a 2-core. I think it's just 13 episodes for season 2. I might be wrong, and there is more coming this season, but I'm not really sure where we're going here. If we're going to dawdle around, we're just going to like leave a big cliffhanger into more. I don't know. But if, like me, the parts of Oshi no Ko that you enjoy the most are the investigation elements, we're getting more of that. And just in general, this is a really fucking good show. I don't think it's hitting as hard with the Western audience as much as the first season did, because the first season had idol shit in it, and had like idol performances, and that hits better with Western audiences than a stage play. That's just my observation. So I don't think this season is hitting as hard internationally, from Scuttlebutt and all that. But I think it's doing very well in Japan still. And manga sales keep going up as the anime happens, which is all people care about, for good and for bad, friends. The anime generally exists to help sell the manga, and if there are light novels, the light novels. So it's usually, if it makes money, great. If it increases sales, even better. And if it's like something that's on an app or part of a weekly booklet or something like that, like even better. And that's all I want to talk about as far as anime goes. We got some time left in the stream before we go on a raid at the end. Now is the part of the stream where I want to hear from you. What are you watching right now? What are you playing? What are you up to? What are you into? I love hearing from you folks about what you're excited about. Did you go to the movies this week? Are you going to go this weekend? How fucking hot is it where you are? Because it got hot again around here, and I am sweltering in this room with all these lights on. I can't wait to cool off, open this door, get some air, some ventilation in here, get some more air conditioning going in here, some aircon. What's going on with you? Please throw that in the chat. And then while you're typing, I'll tell you, hey, there was a patch to Hearthstone today, and they nerfed, they nerfed the mage deck. I don't think as many people are going to be playing the mage deck because it's harder to go infinite and do infinite cheap damage in the mage deck. I'm very excited about that. I think people will still play it, but they made it just bad enough that I think you can beat it. And some of the rogue stuff I think is going to be harder for people to pull off. Is every bad deck from this set, fixed? No. A couple cards they buffed, which I'm interested in. So Hearthstone could be fun. I will say one thing that sucks is they're doing a long-term thing where every week they want you to do stuff that it's part of their quest lines, but they do special quests. And the first special quest was like, play or destroy 75 pirates. And I was like, go fuck yourself. I don't want to play a pirate deck. And I don't want to fight pirate decks. That was in standard. And I was like, I'll fucking do it. So I made like as fun of a pirate deck as I could come up with, because I am sick of losing to Hearthstone, to pirates decks in Hearthstone that are just whipping my goddamn ass and just running the board. Because they added some pirates that are just such a fucking pain in the ass to beat, that it was really frustrating. And I was like, I am not a fan of this shit. I am a boo this. So the idea that in order to unlock some stuff and get some free packs, I had to play a bunch of pirates made me kind of unhappy. But like I said, the nerf came in, and I think the nerfs are good. I think some of the buffs are interesting. It did actually, one card got buffed, and it costs less. And the card that got buffed is part of my warrior deck that I'm playing. That is Big Warrior, and so now I can cheat out a card on turn 4 instead of turn 5. It's a 2-card. It's a 2 thing. It makes a 0/4 for your opponent, and when that card dies, when that minion dies, then you something from your deck gets summoned to the battlefield. So you on turn 4 play that, and then on turn 5 you play a card that does that does 5 damage to it because it's 4 health, or do something else to get rid of it, and then boom, you got yourself a minion. One of your big ass stupid minions is on the board. And there's a good card for warrior that it is an elemental that costs 9 mana, but if you can cheat it out, it's great. It is a 6 attack, 9 defense with taunt, and at the end of your turn, you summon a minion that does not have taunt, but you summon a minion that has whatever stats it has. So it starts as a 6/9, nice. So you get 2 6/9s, one that has taunt, one that doesn't. But it happens at the end of every turn, so your opponent needs to fucking kill that. But if they do like 5 damage to it and it becomes a 6/4, then it will make another 6/4. And the first one has taunt, which I think is smart. And the other ones don't make infinite copies, so it's just the original. It costs 9 mana, so it is expensive for what it does. But if you can get it out for very little, that rules. Even if you can use the 5 cost that summons a minion from your hand, does 5 damage to it, then you're still getting 2 6/4s, one of which has taunt, and that's like fucking pretty great for 5 goddamn mana. I'll have to show that the next time I do streams. Big Warrior is fun. There's a couple Warrior cards that are real goddamn cool, so I was happy with that. Lord Crescent says, I've been watching Rising Impact Season 2, which I showed you the most upsetting character I've seen in anime in a while. Yes, you showed that to me in the Discord. It's basically a tournament arc for a show with big competition, and the main character has had their big Super Saiyan transformation moment, which is rad. Nice. Yeah, I don't know anything about Rising Impact, so I am glad that you were having a good time with this particular anime. I'm glad that this is going well for you. And yeah, that character that you showed with it that facial hair was bad. Yeah, I would describe that facial hair as not good at all. A bad time. That's a bad time. I am noticing that I can't tell for sure. It might just be the way this was built or way this was drawn. I'm wondering if these are supposed to be up some. Did I mess up? Let me look at it from this side here. Oh no, this looks right. Okay. I don't think I did this wrong. I'm going to just go back here. It would be really annoying to have to fix this if I did do these wrong somehow, but I don't think I did. But if I have to fix this, it will be pretty goddamn annoying. Okay, yeah, there's no way I could do that wrong. Because that's just one layer there. And then these would be with orange, and then it's just orange all the way through. Yeah, okay. I think it's just the way it was drawn. I don't think I did this wrong. I'll find out later. If anybody else has been watching or playing anything, I would love to hear from you about that. Always like to know what you're up to, what you're into. Feel free to let me know. And if you don't want to tell me, that's also okay. You can just chill. You don't have to talk at all. Being a lurker is fine. Other video games I've been playing. On Tuesday, I checked out that the free content, the Muckingham Files 4, the whale, the seaplane that filled with water, the water plane for the fire department in Power Wash Simulator, and the modern mansion, which was disgusting, awful atrocity on purpose, looked terrible. That was fun to power wash both those things. Thanks for everybody that stopped by on Tuesday. Appreciate you being there. Had fun on Tuesday with everybody watching. That was there. It was a good time. This is the middle. This looks like this is the middle. Let me double check. Yeah, I think this is the middle. I'll find out later if I did this wrong, but I think it's the middle. Okay. And then this goes here. Great. That's there. Excellent. But yeah, I played more of the Power Wash Simulator. I do have to eventually someday, before more DLC comes out, I gotta finish that goddamn bonus job of that goddamn dwarf fountain. I gotta finish that fountain with its shitty sprayer that I don't want to use. I gotta do that someday. Lord Crashton says, I got Vampire Survivors on PS5, so I'm excited to go sicko mode with it. Hell yeah, have a great goddamn time with that. I hope you have a lot of fun playing Power Wash. Not Power Wash, Vampire Survivors. I had a lot of fun playing Power Wash. Lastbrook says, so this wasn't really planned with the Castlevania news, but I pulled out my DS stuff and I'm playing Circle the Moon again. Fuck yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, that wasn't part... you know what? It was part of someone's plan, just not your plan, Lashbrook. You know what I mean? It's part of somebody's plan. That's right, Miyamoto. This is all part of Miyamoto's plan. Miyamoto's grand plan to have you playing Castlevania games. It's beautiful, is what it is. So, thank you, Miyamoto-san, for that, for blessing us with that. I don't know what I'm talking about. I wasn't feeling loopy today. Over the course of this stream, I got the giggles, and I don't know where that came from. I don't know what's going on. But yeah, I got the giggles at a kind of nowhere, which is perfect timing because we're just about done with tonight's stream. So it's a good time for me to have the giggles now where I can, wrap up the stream and have the giggles off stream. But yeah, it's been downhill since the Mako rant. Look, like I said, this is not the Mako. It's the Nomad from Andromeda. Look at it. Look at the Mako. Look at the Nomad, and then look at this. I'm not wrong. I might not be right about some things in this world, many things, but I am right about this. I'm convinced that I'm correct about this. Anyway, we're going to wrap things up. This has been a fun build, a Lego build. We only have some parts left and then bag 4, so we're definitely finishing this on Saturday's stream. Ooh, we got some springs. That'll be fun. So we're going to finish this up on Saturday's stream. And then when we finish that up, we'll start something new. I'm going to do a poll tomorrow for my patrons to decide what I build next. Yeah, that'll come in on the next one. We're going to raid. That is how we end every stream around here. We're going to go find somebody doing cool shit and go spend some time with them. The thing about the raid is I would love for you to come along on it. Because I always try to raid cool people doing cool shit, and I think you'll have a good time with whoever I choose to raid. So let's see who is hanging out that we want to go hang out with. Who's doing things and things? Who's doing things and things? Oh, he's probably finishing up. So Puppet Jared, I do love Puppet Jared, but I feel like he's probably wrapping up his stream. So I don't want to go there. Let's go hang out with Matt Wiggins, who's playing Sekiro. Sekiro Shadows Die Twice. That'll be a good time. Matt will be an entertaining stream to watch for some Sekiro. I do like that Matt just plays what he wants to play. He doesn't chase anything. I appreciate that for him. So thanks so much for being here. I hope you have a great rest of your evening, I should say. Please come along for Matt Wiggins. You'll have a good time with Matt. Come back on Saturday as I finish up this very fucking cool Lego set and start a new Lego set or model kit. I don't know what I'm going to start. My patrons will have to vote. I hope you have a great rest of your night. Thanks for being here. I enjoyed having you. I'll see you soon. Goodbye, everybody. Goodbye, 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 goodbye.